Hey folks, what's up? This is Adam here, aka Cena Guy. Welcome to the Movie Vault, where I'm reviewing Friday the 13th, The New Blood. Okay, the next one in the franchise following part 6, Jason Lives. Okay, I just got done watching it moments ago. But the first thing I want to do is, before I get into this review, my old camera is basically fucked. So I've got no choice but to use this emergency camera, which I'm using right now. I'm still trying to get the quality right, still trying to get the microphone right. So apologies if it's not turned out 100% great, you know what I mean? But we're just going to be grateful for what we've got and get through with what we've got, basically. So I don't know if I need to get a new camera or need to carry on with how I'm going on with this emergency camera. We'll just have to see where we go. Now, The New Blood, just watched it moments ago, and it was nice to see this movie again. Now, I know if you've been following my old accounts and my old reviews, I did a big rant on The New Blood when I was very young. You know, the first time I saw it. I made fun of it, saying it was like Jason Voorhees battling Matilda, you know, from Roald Dahl's book Matilda, you know, where Matilda has like all these powers. She can make things fly off the wall. She used them to battle Miss Trunchbull, you know, the demon headmistress, you know, in the book Matilda. And I said to myself, well, here it's exactly the same thing. We've got this girl called Tina, and she's battling Jason, doing exactly the same thing as Matilda done. Other than it's not a headmistress she's fighting, it's Jason Voorhees. And I said it was exactly the same thing. And I made fun of the movie, I bashed the movie, but after rewatching it a moment ago, I can't turn back the clock. I mean, I had fun with this movie. It's a fun flick in the Friday the 13th franchise. Okay, it's the most fun one. And I've got to say, it's one of the most action-packed ones. So I like it more better than I used to. I don't worship the movie. I don't think it's the best one in the franchise. That's just my honest opinion. But it's one of the better entries. And I enjoyed it better than I did. That's the best way I can put it. Now, things I will point out about this movie is that CJ Graham did not come back, although he was considered. Instead, Kane Hodder now replaces him, and I think Kane Hodder is the best Jason. I've met Kane Hodder, I've met CJ Graham, I met Richard Brooker, God bless his soul, he's no longer with us. I like CJ Graham, and I like Kane Hodder. They were both really great guys to me. CJ Graham was very down to earth. He actually thanked me for being a horror fanatic and actually thanked me for attending the horror con and for being a fan, which he didn't have to do. When I met Kane Hodder, he made fun of my Freddy Krueger sweater, saying Freddy's a bitch and all that kind of thing. So Kane Hodder was a really nice guy to meet. But he's my favourite Jason. You know, I loved him in this movie. I like him in Jason Takes Manhattan. You know a lot of people don't like that movie, Jason Takes Manhattan, but I'll get into why I like that movie so much, because it was the first one that I saw, and it was different in the terms of settings, and I like those differences. You know, a lot of people complain about it, but I'll get to that. I will say in this movie, The New Blood, Jason has the best look. You know, where he's all fucked up and his clothes are all shredded. You can see his bones showing off all the wounds from all the previous movies. And even underneath the mask, I thought they did a very nice design of that underneath mask, which Kane Hodder was wearing. You know, where you can see Jason's jaws, and he looks like a rusty old zombie. You know, and the way he portrayed Jason was really great in this movie. You know, the way he moved, the way he showed frustration, like all the heavy breathing, like the, you know, showing anger and frustration, especially when he's battling Tina throughout the whole movie. He's showing all these signs of frustration, he's showing all these signs of anger, and he's getting really pissed off each time Tina knocks him down with one of the powers, whether it will be falling through the staircase because the chandelier hit him, you know, whether it was making the rooftop fall on top of Jason, you know, setting him on fire, throwing nails at him, making the fireplace burst at him. You know, Tina really gives Jason a run for his money, and that's what makes the Tina character very likeable. The fact that, apart from Freddy Krueger, you know, someone gives Jason a run for his money. You know, I know that happened in the previous movies, and whether it was Jason Voorhees getting an axe to the face in part 3, you know, or whether him getting stabbed or whatever in all the previous movies. It was nice to see Tina, a very likeable character, give Jason a run for his money. So I suppose that was a fun aspect of part of the Jason New Blood. Because basically what the movie's about, Tina's a young girl. She witnesses her father being, an alcoholic father being abusive towards her mother. She runs away and she gets on a boat to go to Camp Crystal Lake. Father follows her and using her powers, she collapses the dock and the father dies. Years later, she's seen a psychiatrist and she's feeling very guilty about her father's death. But then again, her powers are slowly increasing, they're getting stronger. And it's those powers that resurrect Jason, who's still at the bottom of the lake, following the events of the previous movie. And Jason comes back to life, going on a big killing spree yet again. Because at Camp Crystal Lake, there's all these kids, there's all these new people celebrating their birthday. And Jason's going on a big killing spree one by one. Only that the one victim he cannot seem to capture or get the backhand of is Tina. You know, because of her powers. And she uses her powers throughout the whole movie to battle Jason Voorhees, basically. You know, and that's another reason why I like this movie better than I did, because the plots are so straightforward, it's not complicated. You know, it's such a basic plot about Jason Voorhees coming back to life. Only that he's not dealing with his typical victim who runs away from him, or he's not dealing with one of his victims who, you know, who eventually kills off. He's battling a chick who is very easy to like, a cool character. Yes, I like Adrienne King, and I like all the other actresses. I have to admit, Adrienne King is my favourite. For some reason, I took a big spark to her character in Friday the 13th. But this Tina, who was played by, Tina Shepard, played by La Palmer Lincoln, does a fine job of Tina. Again, very likeable. And like I say, I'm really glad I just rewatched this movie again, because I do like it better. I mean, I want to talk about the poster also. The poster's really cool, about how it's half masked, with Jason Voorhees on one side, Tina's face on the other side, and you've got that little river of blood with the knife going down the middle. That's a cool poster. I have to say it's one of the best Friday the 13th posters. But then again, I like the Manhattan poster, you know, where Jason Voorhees is like staring over the city of Manhattan, you know. Although a lot of people complain about that poster, I for one really like it, you know. So it was a nice watch. It was a nice fun adventure, you know, watching Jason Voorhees getting his ass attended to him by this girl by the name of Tina. Again, it's a must-watch for any slasher horror fanatic. I mean, we all know the story about Friday the 13th. So, I mean, we've got some good entries, we've got some bad entries. Like I say, I really made fun of this movie back in the day, saying it's Matilda versus the fucking Jason Voorhees with a hockey mask. But after rewatching it, it was like a really fun watch, and I'm really glad that I relived it again. I like it better now than I did back to when I was younger. And I've got a friend who's a big Jason Voorhees fanatic. This one, The New Blood, is his favourite because he likes the whole versus aspect of the movie. And he's actually got the framed poster of this movie on his wall, so it's one of his favourite entries, you know. So, and again, I thought Kane did a great job as Jason. He's my favourite Jason Voorhees, and please check out the video of me meeting him. Just type in Kane Hodder in my search engine, and it should pop up. Now, from what I imagine, I don't know if I'm right about this, but I've been doing some research, and my friend of mine also mentioned this. They tried to get the rights of Carrie to be in this movie, so it'll be her battling Jason Voorhees with the powers instead of Tina. But I don't know if I'm correct by that. I mean, I'm not sure if they tried to get the Carrie character to battle Jason Voorhees, but they couldn't get the rights to it for some reason. I could be wrong about that, but it was just something that I read. I'd like to hear more thoughts about that. So if any of you know more about the Carrie story, about how that came about, please let me know, because I'll be really interested in knowing about that, because I like the film Carrie. And again, that would have been really interesting to see what the Carrie character had in store for Jason if they went to battle, you know. But like I said, the only verses that we came across was in 2003, where Freddy fought Jason, you know, which was an okay movie. When I rewatch it, it's not as good as it was when I first watched it, but still, it was a nice verses, you know, just to see for any horror fanatic. I've already explained about Jason's look. I think it's possibly one of his best look in the film franchises, you know, where his clothes are all torn and ripped, you know, and in my opinion, I really wish I would have kept that look, because when it comes to Jason Takes Manhattan, he's much more slimier. and gooier, you know, and I like that look. But if I could pick one look in the franchise, I'd have to choose this one. I mean, I liked Baghead Jason, you know, in part 2 where he's wearing the bag over his head. I mean, it was part 3 with Richard Brooker where we got introduced to the hockey mask. But in part 2, wearing the bag, I thought I liked that look. It was very intimidating, where we all know in part 1 it was Pamela Voorhees, aka Betsy Palmer, doing all the killings. She was a fine villain, but I also joke about that, saying, how could a woman at her age cause so much chaos, like throwing people through a window, holding Kevin Bacon down when she shoves an arrow through his fucking throat, and placing a person's body on some anklers? You know, how did she manage to lift the person up to put him on the anklers? So I do laugh at that, saying, how can a middle-aged woman be capable of so much chaos with the strength of an American football player, basically, or a wrestler, you know, lifting up these fucking people and placing them on fucking anklers and doing all the stabbings and throwing through the windows, the incredible strength. But I like Betsy Palmer, God bless her soul. I really wish I could have met her at some horror cons, you know what I mean? So Jason was introduced into the sequels, and, you know, but like I say, in the New Blood, I'd have to say it's my favourite look of Jason. You know, the torn clothes, the zombie look in the flesh, and the bones showing and all that, showing all his previous wounds. You know, so there's not much more I can say about this movie other than I say that I was really impressed with it. I'm glad I rewatched it again. Liked it better than I used to. And it was great to see the versus side of things. You know, Jason with the saw, and, you know, there's an uncut version of this. I've got this in the Friday the 13th 8 movie Blu-ray collection. And there's some special features as well, which I'd like to go and watch when I get some free time, some slash scenes, the makeover touch. Again, there's commentary with Kane Hodder and the director of this, John Cole Batchelor. Friday the 13th Chronicles, the gallery behind the gore. So there's some special features. The follow chapter had more features than any other entry in this Blu-ray box set, but I would like to see more of the New Blood, of the special features, that is. But yeah, it's one of the better entries, and I will end this movie review by saying it's a must-see for any slasher fanatic. And I will state some other facts before I go so far regarding, well, the budget was $2.8 million. I made $19.2 million at the box office. I already mentioned it came out in the year of 1988, but its official release date was May 13th of 1988. Fair time, 88 minutes. Again, directed by John Cole Butcher. Yeah, that's right, John Cole Butcher. Yeah, please check this out, everybody. A must-see, and one of the better entries in the franchise. And I'll wrap this up now by saying thank you for watching this review. Please leave a comment below. And again, if you've got any information about that stuff where it was rumoured that Carrie was going to fight Jason, I would like to know more about that. Got me really intrigued. And I would like to have seen that. I suppose any other Friday the 13th, I would like to have seen that also. So, thanks for watching this, everyone. Peace out and have a nice day. Peace.